Unit 9, Direct Instruction. Rule 8 taught us that when one consonant is between two vowels, we're going to divide the word before the consonant and make the first vowel sound long. But in a lot of cases, the word doesn't sound familiar. So we're going to use Rule 9. We're going to divide the word after the consonant and make the first vowel sound short. Opinion. My opinion of her changed when she apologized for hurting my feelings. Opinion. If we said it like Rule 8, it would sound like opinion. That doesn't sound right. So we're going to split it after the N, making the first I short. Loyal. Husker fans are some of the most loyal fans in the nation. Loyal. If we said it like Rule 8, it would say loyal. That doesn't sound familiar, so we're going to use Rule 9. Linen. She disliked her linen pants because they wrinkled easily. Linen. If we used Rule 8, we'd make it sound like linen, and that doesn't sound familiar. So we're going to use Rule 9. Salary. A salary is a yearly income, not a weekly paycheck. Salary. If we used Rule 8, it would sound like salary. Once again, we don't know that word. Decorate. FMP rooms always decorate their doors during homecoming week. Decorate. Rule 8 would make it sound like decorate. That doesn't sound right. So we're going to use Rule 9 and separate the syllable after the C and make the first E short. Rigid. My parents had very rigid rules while I was growing up. Rigid. But Rule 8 would make it sound like rigid. That's not a familiar word. So let's use Rule 9. Vary. Temperatures in October can vary greatly. Rule 8, though, would make it sound like vary. So we want to go with what sounds right. Severe. Spring in Nebraska is known as severe weather season. Severe. Rule 8, though, would make it sound like severe. So we're going to separate the syllable after the V and make the first E short. Toxic. Taking too much ibuprofen can be toxic to your kidneys. Toxic. But Rule 8 would almost make us sound British if we said toxic. While that's fun, it doesn't sound like a familiar word in our American English. Vivid. A male peacock has vivid tail colors to attract a mate. Vivid. Rule 8 would make it sound like vivid. So we're going to use Rule 9. Modern. Computers are a sign of our modern age. Modern. Rule 8, though, would make it sound like modern, which doesn't sound like a word we use. Navigate. After the tornado, we had to carefully navigate around the debris to get to the car. Navigate. Rule 8, though, would sound weird. We would say navigate. It doesn't make any sense. Vacuum. Now, in the Midwest, we tend to leave out that U, and we say vacuum, but it's actually pronounced vacuum. Pine needles can ruin a vacuum, so it's best to pick them up by hand. Vacuum. Now, if we did it like Rule 8, though, it wouldn't even sound like what we say. It would sound like vacuum. That's not a word. Adoration. I feel great adoration for Mother Teresa and all she did for the poor. Adoration. Rule 8, though, would make it sound like adoration. So we're going to stick with Rule 9. Visitor. We sat at home awaiting our visitor. Visitor. However, Rule 8 would make it sound like visitor. Doesn't sound right. Reservation. Trying to get a reservation at a restaurant on Valentine's Day is very difficult. Reservation. But Rule 8 would make it sound like reservation. So we're going to stick with Rule 9 and separate the syllable after the S and make the first E short. Dedication. The boss was impressed by his employees' dedication. Dedication. Rule 8 would make me sound like a, a laboratory, Dexter's laboratory, because it would be dedication. So we're going to stick with rule 9 here and go dedication. Decorate. We will decorate our house for the holidays. Decorate. Rule 8 would make it sound like decorate. So we're going to separate the syllable after the C and make the E short. Janitor. The janitor will fix the sink in the girls' bathroom. Janitor. Although rule 8 would make it sound like janitor. Rapid. The train moved at a rapid pace. Rapid. However, if we used rule 8, it would sound like rapid, which is not what we're trying to get across here. So even though it might sound like another word, it's not the appropriate usage. Rapid. We're going to stick with rule 9 and separate after the P and make the A short.